An apparent clerical error will mean some Ottawa County voters will get blank ballots when they go to the ballot box in November. The clerk for the city of Ferrysburg did not initial the petitions candidates submitted before sending them over to the county, which means all of the petitions for the people running for mayor or 3 seats on the city council are now invalidated. Local leaders went back and forth over that before voting to leave them off the ballot.
Unfortunately, because the signature was not on the petition, it became invalid, and the petitions each only hold 12 signatures, and our charter has a minimum of 15 required.
You're being recognized. Please stand. Come up.
Any candidate who was invalidated will still be able to become a write-in candidate. They will need to submit their write-in application 2 Fridays before the November 7th election.
Fans at Michigan State football games will soon be able to order alcohol during home games. MSU's Board of Trustees approved it this morning. 13 on your side's Elena Holland spoke to the university spokesperson. And Elena, when is this going to start?
Well, Juliet, hopefully alcohol sales will begin for the home game on September 16th against the University of Washington. That is all dependent on state approval of a liquor license and making sure items and contracts are in place to actually sell the alcohol at the games. This comes after Governor Whitmer signed a bill last month allowing alcohol sales at college sporting events. The Board of Trustees voted unanimously to allow it at Spartan Stadium. They're also planning for alcohol sales at Breslin Center, Mount Ice Arena, and Old College Field. For now, they're mainly seeking a license to sell beer and seltzer, not liquor. And while not every fan wants to drink at games, Vice President and University spokesperson Emily Garant says some do, and they want to do it responsibly.
Based on the feedback we've heard from other Big Ten institutions and other schools and universities across the nation, that in many cases, the incidence of binge drinking and alcohol-related incidents on a game day have trended downwards, in some cases more than 30%, because there isn't as an enticement to have to binge drink and consume alcohol before going in the game.
She said they hear from other schools alcohol sales is not actually a big moneymaker, but what they do make, they plan to invest into student wellness programs like safe drinking campaigns, mental health support, and infrastructure. We take a look at what other universities are doing too with alcohol sales at sporting games. That's tonight at 6. For now, Elena Holland, 13 your side.
All right, Elena, thank you. A reminder tonight, crews in Holland are taking part in a mass casualty training event on Windmill Island.
The situation will involve dozens of firefighters, police, and EMS, giving those first responders practice on how to respond to a real large-scale incident. Local hospitals are also taking part in this exercise.
Windmill Island was closed to the public starting at 3 p.m. The exercise starts in just about an hour and runs until 10 o'clock.
Well, if you're planning to go to the Lakeshore tomorrow, you might want to change your plans.
Yes, you will. Chief Meteorologist George Lessons is over there in the Weather Center with the reason why, George.
Not very often do we lead off our weathercast with strong winds that are going to lead to dangerous waves and rip currents on Lake Michigan. So you want to stay off the beaches and piers here tomorrow. Also have a timeline on the showers and storms that's coming up from the weather deck next.
13 on your side is sponsored by Grabbit's Home Services, always delivering that personal touch. It's what they mean by expect the unexpected.
The 13 on Your Side Weather Deck is sponsored by Montel Construction, your home team.
Picture perfect Wednesday here in West Michigan. Blue skies, warm temperatures about where they're supposed to be this time of year. But we're going to have a big change coming in the weather in the next 24 hours, especially on Lake Michigan. First off, though, we have showers and thunderstorms in sight. That's why the 13 weather ball is blinking bright. It's also blue. A little bit cooler weather in view on your Thursday.
The 13 weather ball is sponsored by LaFontaine Lincoln Grand Rapids.
And along the Lakeshore, winds are around 15 to 20 mile per hour gusts, but you can see along the beaches not too bad. Waves running about 1 foot on the south end of the lake to as high as 3 foot out at the buoys on the north part of our viewing area, Holland Channel. And you can see as it switches the camera there pointing southward, we might could see those are about 1 foot waves there in the Holland area. The Earth Cam over in Grand Haven has the bigger waves, around 2 to 3 footers there right at the State Park Beach. South Haven, yeah, they're just little ripples there. But the waves are going to continue to build here overnight tonight. This is our wave model forecast. Anywhere here in the yellow, this is about 6 to 10 foot waves, a little bit less from Holland southward. This is throughout the night tonight. So from about 11 o'clock tonight through about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning is when the highest waves will be occurring. It's all because of a cold front that's off to our north and west that's going to be sliding on through tomorrow afternoon. The winds are increasing out of the south, and that's building those waves. And there's also a risk for severe weather tonight up over Minnesota. That will translate to our east tomorrow. I don't think we'll see any severe weather here because the showers are going to be occurring during the morning hours. Let's break it down. Here they come. This is 7 o'clock this evening. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Some storms arriving in the northwest counties. That's been fairly consistent, and it will rain for about 3 or 4 hours, and then that'll be pretty much it. Other than an isolated sprinkle tomorrow evening, we have clear skies expected, lots of sunshine on Friday and Saturday as well. Rainfall, not going to see a ton, certainly not like we did the other night, maybe 3/4 of an inch across much of the area. Long range outlook, this is from August 22nd through the 26th at the end of our 10-day forecast. Still seeing warmer than average temperatures with high chances there will be less precipitation. So out on Lake Michigan, we're looking for small craft advisories to become gale warnings as the waves will be 1 to 2 feet, climbing to 9 to 10 feet overnight, and gale warnings go in effect to the south at 11 o'clock tonight. Those waves will continue to build, and they'll be very, very treacherous all throughout the night and during the morning tomorrow. At the Lakeshore, it'll be breezy, overnight lows in the mid and upper 60s with the thunderstorms coming in the northwest counties late tonight. Mostly clear and then cloudy late tonight up in the northern part of our viewing area, low 60s there. And here in the greater Grand Rapids area, low in mid 60s for overnight lows. Breezier toward the Lakeshore, but will be dry all night. 13 on your side forecast. 72 on Friday, that's unusually cool, but back above average Saturdays. It becomes humid in the afternoon and very humid next Monday and Tuesday. Very little, if any, chance of rain all the way through next to Thursday. Now Thursday night and Friday, there might be another chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. So the big news is just stay out of the water and off the beaches tomorrow.
Yeah, and I guess keep the umbrella handy later in the week and be prepared for the heat. Thanks, George. Appreciate it.
Pickleball is a sport that's exploded in popularity, but there have been complaints over the noise made by the game here in West Michigan.
Well, the city of Walker has turned several tennis courts into designated areas for pickleball, but the noise from the game at one park violated their own noise ordinances.
13 on your side's Jeremiah Brown is live in Walker with what both the city and neighbors are saying. Jeremiah.
You can find pickleball being played at parks across the area, but here at City Central Park in Walker, the city took the ball off the court. Pickleball has been sweeping the nation. It is described as a combination of badminton, ping pong, and tennis, using a distinct paddle and plastic ball, which makes a clear sound that was too much for some in the area to bear.
The fact, if you see the courts behind us, there is a wall, a cement wall, so that noise actually ricochets, the noise ricochets off to the neighbors there and just magnifies it a little bit more. And what we didn't realize is that we should have gone through a process of, picking out a good spot where to put the pickleball courts, where there wouldn't be many neighbors, where there would be a good sound buffer. We didn't realize that at the time.
The city says spoke to neighbors today, and while they declined to be on camera, they told us that the noise was a strong concern 2 years ago when Walker kept their parks open during the pandemic, as people from surrounding cities would play pickleball here from morning to nightfall. They say, however, that has largely subsided, and they find it unfortunate that the tennis courts are now closed. The city says the closure will be temporary, but was necessary to enforce signage that had put in place some time ago. Pickleball fans in Walker are still able to play the game on the north side of the park, along with at Community Park off Lake Michigan Drive. Live from Walker, I'm Jeremiah Brown, 13 on your side.
Still to come, continuing 13 Help Team coverage of sky-high consumers' energy bills.
How the officials with the utility company are responding to a recent investigation.
"13 is on your side."
Many crops are being harvested right now in Michigan.
And one local organization is asking for help harvesting the food that will keep West Michigan families fed this fall. Kids Food Basket has a relatively new 10-acre farm on 104th Avenue in Holland. The food that's grown there is sent to food pantries and used for the Kids Food Basket Sack Supper program, but they need volunteers, as many as 30 every day, to help harvest.
They say the volunteers get as much out of the experience as the people who receive the food.
But in the world that we're in right now, if you pay attention and how crazy it is everywhere, a farm is a beautiful place to take the time away from that and to relax and to focus in on yourself and to just enjoy life at its purest form, being one with nature, connecting with the crops, the plants, harvesting the food, knowing that it's going to a great place.
If you would like to volunteer, we have all the information you need to sign up on our website, 13onyourside.com.
Continuing coverage now on our Help Team investigation. Sky-high bills had consumers' energy customers turning to us in droves amid ongoing tech upgrades, which in turn prompted an investigation by the state's utility watchdog.
So we are getting our first look right now at the consumer's response to the investigation, which was submitted on time and in compliance at the beginning of August. Now, Charlie, you have been covering this extensively. Consumers appears to take some responsibility to the problems tied to the 3 and 4G transition, but is also putting a lot of a blame on one of its suppliers.
Yeah, it's thick. It's in fact more than 80 pages long. And in the first 3, the same name, consumer's meter vendor, as it turns out, comes up repeatedly. In fact, 13 times we counted. The company says Itron failed to provide enough meters to fully replace the 3G inventory before the end of 2022, and also failed to provide an adequate number of meter reading staff. Consumers claiming it had approximately 188,000 meters left to replace with the newer 4G versions at the beginning of this year. The utility goes on to say it took several of its own steps after that came to light to ease the transition, and that it will have replaced those remaining older meters by the end of this month. So I called Itron HQ out in Washington State, left them a voicemail, have not gotten a response yet. State regulators have until the end of this month to respond to consumers. In total, we've helped get around $20,000 in bills returned to our viewers, likely much more than that from the folks who were not aware these issues when they were still flying beneath the radar. We do have links with resources for you over at 13onyourside.com under the Help Team tab.
And we know you will continue to keep us updated on the whole thing.
Indeed we will.